Police are renewing their appeal for information regarding the disappearance of Georgina Gharsallah, who vanished from Worthing in March of 2018.
We don't give up hope, but your hope diminishes over the time, especially over the years.
Georgina is still missing. She may have ended up under a concrete in a construction site. We have no reports of her whereabouts.
Welcome to Unsolved Ink. Let's open the file. In the digital age, it is almost impossible to vanish. We leave digital footprints with every step: a ping from a cell tower, a transaction on a debit card, a face captured on a doorbell camera. But on the morning of March 7th, 2018, Georgina Gharsallah walked out of her mother's house and simply vanished. She didn't get into a car. She didn't board a flight. She walked into a convenience store to buy a stick of gum and ask about a phone repair. She walked out, and she never spoke to another human being again. This image you're looking at, this is the last verified moment of her life. But the horror of this case isn't just that she vanished. It's what happened after. It's about the CCTV footage that the police admitted they forgot to collect until it was deleted. It's about the 27 minutes of lost timeline that could solve the case. And it's about a massive construction site that locals believe became an accidental tomb. How does a mother of two disappear in broad daylight on a busy high street? And why does her family believe the answers were erased by the very people paid to protect her? To understand the disappearance, we first have to understand the woman. Georgina Gharsallah was 30 years old. She was a mother to two young boys. By all accounts, she was a devoted, loving mother, but she was navigating a turbulent chapter in her life. She had recently separated from her husband. She was unemployed and had moved back in with her mother, Andrea, in Worthing. Friends described her as vibrant and intelligent, but also vulnerable. She had struggled with anxiety and was trying to find her footing again. But there was one constant in her life: her communication. She was the type of person who was always in contact with her mom, with her sisters, with her friends. But in the days leading up to March 7th, there was a problem, a technical one. Georgina's phone, a Moto E4, was acting up. It wouldn't hold a charge. It wouldn't connect to the network properly. For a modern woman, a broken phone is an annoyance. But in a missing person's case, a broken phone is a catastrophe. It means the digital lifeline is already severed before the crime even happens. On the morning of March 7th, Georgina tells her mom, Andrea, that she's heading into town. Her plan is simple: fix the phone, go to the job center, meet her father for lunch. She leaves the house at 9:30 a.m. She is wearing a gray coat with a fur collar. She looks normal. She isn't running, she isn't distressed. At 10:41 a.m., she walks into Clifton Food and Wine. We see her clearly. She buys a few items. She asks the shopkeeper if they repair phones. He says no, but points her toward town. She turns around. She walks out the door. She turns right. And that is the end of the story. She did not make it to the job center, nor did she make it to see her father. When she didn't come home that night, her mother, Andrea, wasn't immediately panicked. Georgina was an adult. Maybe she stayed with a friend. Maybe she went to Brighton. But when the weekend came and she didn't call to speak to her sons, Andrea knew. Here is where the tragedy compounds. Georgina wasn't reported missing until March 17th, 10 days later. This delay is often fatal in investigations. The golden hour was gone. But what makes this case infuriating is not the family's delay. It's the police's response.
You've seen Georgina, if you've got any information, you might have spoken to her, you might have heard something through somebody else.
Tell us about the last day you saw her. What was her mood? What did you talk about
It was
before you
early
left?
in the morning, and I came downstairs and she was doing her hair. and she just said, I've got a few things to do. I think it was the job centre, citizens' advice and sort of things like that, and I'll see you later.
Sussex police categorized Georgina as medium risk. They treated it as a woman who just wanted some space. Because of this classification, they didn't immediately pull the CCTV from the town centre. They waited. And while they waited, the security systems in the shops along Chapel Road were doing what they are programmed to do, overwriting the footage. By the time the major crimes team took over and realized this might be a homicide, the footage was gone, except for one crucial detail. The police did manage to seize some hard drives, but in a stunning admission years later, Sussex police admitted that several key segments of CCTV were viewed but not secured, or simply lost due to technical incompetence. Imagine that. The detective watches a tape. He sees something, but he doesn't save it. And now it's gone forever. What was on those tapes? Did they show Georgina meeting someone? Did they show her getting into a car? We will never know. When the digital trail goes cold, we have to look at the physical world. And in 2018, the physical world of Worthing was dominated by one massive, ugly scar. Teville Gate. Teville Gate was a derelict parking garage and shopping center, being demolished to make way for new apartments. It was a chaotic site, piles of rubble, deep foundation pits, heavy machinery. It sits right on the path Georgina would have walked. The theory is dark, but plausible. Did Georgina encounter someone near the hoarding? Was she pulled into the site? Locals and the family begged the police to search the foundations before the new concrete was poured. They argued, if she is in there and you pour the concrete, she is gone forever. To obtain a warrant to halt a multi-million-pound construction project and dig up foundations, the police needed specific intelligence. This means they needed a witness saying, I saw her walk in there, or CCTV showing her entering the hoarding, or a tip-off saying, she is buried there. Because no such evidence existed, they legally and logistically could not justify digging it up. They searched the perimeter and reviewed site security logs, which showed no unauthorized entries, but they did not dig. The family argues that the reason there is no evidence is because the police messed up the investigation in the first place. We know police lost or failed to collect footage from the town center. The family argues that footage might have shown her walking toward the site. Because that footage is gone, the police cannot say for sure that she didn't go there. The construction site was directly on the route between the shop she visited and the town center where she was heading. It wasn't a random location. She almost certainly had to walk past it. In the end, the construction went ahead. The concrete was poured. The apartments were built. Today, people live there. They park their cars there. And to this day, Georgina Gharsallah wonders if her daughter is beneath their feet. While the police were looking at construction sites and checking CCTV, a much darker theory was whispering through the streets of Worthing. It involves a specific location in Georgina's past, a kebab shop. Investigative reports and documentaries have uncovered that Georgina had previously worked at a local kebab shop. It seemed like a standard job, but intelligence suggests this shop was more than just a takeaway. It was reportedly owned and used as a front by an Albanian crime family, a group with a reputation for violence and supplying Class A drugs across Brighton and Worthing. The connection runs deeper. The father of Georgina's 2 children also worked at this same shop. She wasn't just a random employee. She was embedded in the social circle of this group. And in the world of organized crime, embedded can be a dangerous place to be. The police investigated these links. They looked into the drug debt theory. They arrested 2 men early in the investigation connected to these circles, but they were released without charge. Was this just cruel folklore invented to torture a grieving mother? Or is the reason Georgina vanished so completely because she crossed people who are professionals at making things disappear? But there is one loose thread that refuses to be cut. Months into the investigation, police released a second piece of CCTV. It was captured at 4 p.m. on the day she vanished, hours after the phone went dead. It shows 2 women walking together on Chapel Road. The woman on the left bears a striking resemblance to Georgina. Same height, same walk. But there is a problem. The woman in the video is wearing different boots. Georgina left the house in black boots. This woman is wearing tan boots. The police say it's inconclusive, but let's play detective. If this is Georgina, it means 2 things. She was alive at 4 p.m. She had changed her clothes. Where do you change your clothes? At a house. At a friend's place. Who is the second woman walking with her? She's carrying a plastic bag. She looks relaxed. This other woman has never come forward. Think about that. If you were walking with a friend in Worthing on March 7th and you saw your face on the news linked to a murder investigation, wouldn't you call the police to clear your name? Hey, that's me, and that's not Georgina, that's my sister. But she hasn't. Her silence is the loudest clue in this entire case. In September 2020, Sussex police completed a full review of the investigation conducted by the Surrey and Sussex Crime Review Team. They officially admitted to significant missed opportunities regarding CCTV. The review found that key CCTV footage from the town center was viewed but not secured in time. Because they didn't download or seize the files immediately, the shop's security systems automatically overwrote the footage, usually after 14 to 28 days, meaning the evidence was deleted and lost forever. The family and their private investigators have publicly stated that 27 separate segments of CCTV footage were identified as relevant, but were not secured by police before they were deleted. This gap in the timeline, specifically the 27 minutes mentioned, is the exact window where Georgina likely met her fate. By the time the major crime team took over and tried to get the footage, it was too late. But admissions of mistakes made don't bring daughters back. Georgina Gharsallah has never stopped. She has recreated Georgina's last steps for TV. She has hired private investigators. She has confronted the chief constable. She believes someone in Worthing knows exactly what happened. Worthing is not a metropolis. It is a town. People talk. Secrets in towns like this don't stay buried forever, unless they are buried under concrete. Georgina Gharsallah went to fix her phone. She didn't run away. She didn't leave her boys. She was erased, first by a predator and then by a system that was too slow to hit record. We don't know if she is in the foundations of Tevil Gate. We don't know who the woman in the tan boots is. But we know that the person who did this is likely still walking the streets of Worthing. Georgina's family deserves to know what happened to her. This year in March, it will be 8 years since she has been missing, and her family has never stopped looking for her. If you know anything about the woman in the video or what happened at Tevil Gate, call the number on your screen. The ink is dry on the police report, but it doesn't have to be the end of the story.